What do you have against children and you always talk about them like that? In case someone is new to this site, these questions have come from the other sites that I have on YouTube that are recorded seminars. And I've mentioned my dislike for children many times in the seminars, and this is why this person is asking a question like this. Okay, the answer. First of all, I don't really have much against children. What I'm mostly against is unconscious parents. Parents that have children without even thinking of why they're having a child. They have children because they think this is what they have to do. Or to keep the man, because most women do have children so the man can stay. Or because they're almost 40 and they think they won't be able to have a child after 40 and then they might regret it. That's unconscious parenting. That's unconscious individuals having children as if children are rabbits. This is what I'm against. It's this stupidity of thinking it is your God-given right to just have a child, to bring a child into this world, to make this child miserable because you have no idea how to raise a child or what a child needs, and you simply raise that child to keep needing you. We have a whole generation of adults out there that are useless because their parents raised them to simply need them, to need their parents. And these people cannot make a decision, cannot take responsibility for anything, and their lives are just wasted. And they follow in their parents' footsteps. Unconscious living. Unconscious meaning never having asked questions. It's so simple to ask a question. Why do I want a child? Do I really want a child? Or am I going to use the child for something else? And why do I believe the man will stay with me if I have a child? Why do I believe I will save my marriage if I have a child? This is what I'm against. And this is what I keep seeing in my clients over and over and over again. Not having a fulfilling life because they had a child. Again, this is for the 92% of the population that did not come to Earth to have children. 8% of the world population did put children in their book before they came here. No soul ever writes in the book, in this life I will not have children. Souls always focus on what they will do, not what they will not do. But it's estimated about 8% of the souls that have come to Earth actually put in their book, in this life I will have children. I'm not talking for that 8%, I'm talking for the 92% that did not put children in their blueprint and have them for other reasons. These are the ones I'm calling unconscious. So many of us will never go into our path because we chose to have children without even asking why. This is the population that I would like to just shake them and say, hey, ask questions. Don't just think a baby will save the marriage. No, it won't. First of all, there's really nothing wrong with your marriage. The problem is marriage itself. That is the problem. Not you and your husband, or you and your lover, or you and your boyfriend. Marriage itself, the institution of marriage, is what the problem is. So focus on that, not on saving your marriage with a child, because it will give you something to talk about for a while, simply because you two have nothing to talk about. You have nothing to talk about because you live with each other 24 hours a day, and you're not supposed to. This is what the problem is. So going back to this lady's question, what do you have against children? I really don't have anything against children. They look good on TV, but that's about it. Let's see how we can come out of having children unconsciously. First of all, in a civilized society, you would need a license to have a child. But we are not there yet. We need a license to go fishing. But we can have a child like that. No schooling, no education, no advice. Just, oh, you're pregnant. Oh, congratulations. We are not a civilized society yet. And this is why people are allowed to have children simply because they had sex. And then they find all these excuses not to ask themselves why they had a child. As we go into the fifth dimension, we will become more and more civilized. And we will force people to go to school before they have children, to learn everything about a child, to learn everything about a soul before you bring a soul into this world. This unconscious breeding will not be allowed to continue as we go into the fifth dimension, simply because we become more civilized. Regarding families, regarding children, we are very uncivilized. We still live in the dark ages, in the caves actually. As we go into the fifth dimension, you will get a master's degree on children before you are allowed to have one. And another thing, for those romantics out there, in the fifth dimension, there will be very, very, very few children that have a mummy and a daddy living in the same house. Very few. And that's one reason why there'll be less. Because a lot of women are having children in the hope that the daddy could stay. And it doesn't matter if the daddy is miserable and then they are miserable. They don't care. They'll tell themselves any lie to convince themselves that what they're doing is happiness. So, yes, this is why I talk about them like that in the seminars. And that's all I have, I think, for now. That's all that's coming to me for now. So we will leave this one at this point.